Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me, Parthiv Patel and Zaheer Khan. Let's welcome them with a warm round of applause, everybody. Just checking if they're all awake. They're all awake and excited.
Everyone is.
Everyone is awake. सारे बंदे ready हैं. हमारी राय में आज का जो मैच है रायपुर में उसके बारे में हम अपनी राय देंगे. We're going to give you our opinions about the match that is being played today. Very important for India because India would want to win today and close this series out 3-1. You don't want to go to the last match, but Australia, of course, are going to throw everything at it and try to take it to the series decider, which will be happening on Sunday. But let's talk about today's game first. This is happening in Raipur. Of course, the match will be very electric in a ground that has no electricity. Yes, Parthiv?
Yeah, it had no electricity.
Before people get worried and say there's no game happening because Parthiv's game yesterday got washed out, today there is no electricity, there is no such problem. There was an electricity issue, right? There was an issue, but they've sorted it out and brought generators in and the floodlights are on and the match will happen. I love this Indian jugaad system. Love it.
Especially in places like this where it's been a while since there's been an international game happening, and just imagine that there's no electricity on the day of the game. But I know we Indians are known for trying to get the things done, and that's exactly what we've done today. On generator, lights on.
We know. I think you have had one electric game in Raipur as well, an IPL game. Long time back.
Electric, you mean what?
Means you were electric in the game.
Charged up.
Yeah.
Good.
And you struck like electricity on the opposition.
Yeah, so in franchise cricket, you have a couple of games which you play on a different venue.
This was when you were with Delhi.
Yeah, for Delhi it was Raipur. So for a couple of years, we played a couple of games every year in Raipur, and the venue is nice. The stadium is very good. The pitch, the boundaries are a little longer than the normal boundaries. So that's an advantage for bowlers. At times the wicket can be a little too paced, which can work in your favor. Yeah, so it was, I think, one of those days where all the variations come into play. You get off to a good start, and Brandon McCullum was the guy, along with, I think, Smith. Dwayne Smith was
good wickets to take. Yeah. Those are good wickets to take.
The game was, I think, against CSK, which I played there.
Yeah, that's right. I remember your bowling analysis also. Let's see if you remember them.
I don't remember that.
So
GK, you know me by now, man. Like, I don't remember all these things.
You're not like Sachin that way. who will correct you and say it was 73 balls, not 74 balls.
Yeah, I played the game to the fullest,
And deleted the hard drive after that.
Yeah, that's the
4 overs, 1 maiden.
That I remember.
1 maiden. You remember maidens in T20 cricket. You won't forget that.
Exactly.
Like Berendorf will remember his.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
9 runs and 2 wickets. Pretty good, PP?
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Not bad.
That was not in your Chennai year.
No, that was not in Chennai year.
Yeah.
Because he's at Brandon McCullum and Dwayne Smith.
Yeah.
So that should be around maybe 2011 or 12.
No, he was, it was, I think, 15.
15?
Yeah. It was the 15 season that you did that.
Was it 15 or 16?
15 or 16, one of them.
Yeah, that I don't remember.
Yeah, it was one of them. But of course, that maiden, how can you forget the maiden? And he bowled that maiden to Brendan McCullum. So it's a good day. That, of course, was in Raipur. That was our new segment called Walk Down Memory Lane that we had not thought of, but we have just made up just right now because the discussion has happened. So, all right, Australia, meanwhile, in Raipur has won the toss and has chosen to chase, obviously. After their successful chase in the previous game. Why would they not want to? वहाँ भी boundary बड़ी थी, यहाँ भी बड़ी है. We had thought it won't be a high-scoring game, but of course it turned out to be not only high-scoring, but the highest ever chase that has happened against India. That will happen. Of course, Australia eventually got to 225 on the back of a Glenn Maxwell knock, which really was not a knock, it was a heist. It really was. It was fantastic. 20 plus to get in the last over, and they got it done, got their first win in the series. But today, well, more departures from the Australian team. As you know, that their travel agent has been very busy. Few left before the last game, few have left before this game. And the number of changes today, I'll ask you both to guess. How many changes do you think have happened?
3, I think, last time we were talking about.
Yeah.
3. So you're saying 3 changes?
3 mandatory it was.
So how many do you think have happened?
3.
3? How many?
4.
4. Out of the 2 of you,
Is he carrying his phone here?
No, I'm not.
no, he's not.
No, I'm not.
Can't see the Cricbuzz.
Parthiv with a cheeky smile.
So let me tell you, One of them is wrong, and the other one is even more wrong because it's five changes.
5 changes.
Do you remember that ad? Pure ghar ke badal dal. Yeah?
Exactly what Australia done.
That's what they've done. What do you make of this, though? I actually want to get your opinion on this, Zach, as a person who's run teams and you've captained. This whole idea, because Pat Cummins said something very interesting, and I really liked that. While he was doing this, the trophy tour and stuff, he was asked about this series. And you said you can't begrudge the players who have given their all to a World Cup if they are not 100% or if they are coming back or they're sitting out for a couple of games. You can't begrudge them the fact that they are spit, that the fuel in the tank is finished. And of course, the second point which we'll come to is that youngsters get a chance. Obviously, that would happen. But just this point that you can't, it's professional cricket. I know people love their country. They want your favorite players to be playing every day. They are not machines. They are not robots. They are humans.
Yes, I think you got to understand that side of things also. You got to understand the mental fatigue. You got to understand the mental health side of things as well. After a tournament like World Cup, you actually just want to you absorb a lot of pressure. You've been through a lot, not just physical but also emotional. It's an emotional ride as well. It's a long tournament. So after that, you got to give the players the downtime as well. Win or lose. I think just reaching to the finals is a great achievement, and after that, and both the teams were looking at that. Australia actually fielded more players from that squad of World Cup in this series, which quickly they understood that it's not something which was very wise, and you need to give them time to just now be themselves.
Their big home season's coming up.
And get back. Having said that, when you're fielding a team, you are fielding a team to win. So that doesn't change. So on the basis of performance, you got to judge the side. So Australia not playing well, you have all the rights of analyzing that, if needed, criticizing it, whatever it may be. So once you are playing against a country, you are actually putting up a side to win, and it's their duty, whoever are the players. Opportunity as well for youngsters. But that's the way it should be looked at. So look at Indian team right now. You are fielding different teams during the COVID time. Also, you've seen the Test match was going in England. You're playing one team in Sri Lanka, and both the teams were doing well. So that's how it should be. It boils down to now how teams are looking at building the squads. Because that's going to be the demand of the way cricket is growing. You got to be prepared for different kind of scenarios and situations.
And I think those different scenarios are happening when you see India's selection of the squad for South Africa. Because I want to get to this point that, yes, of course, some of the regulars for Australia are not playing this series because it's happened right after the World Cup. But Indian regulars have actually not been playing T20I for a year. Like when I looked down that list when we were just chatting right now, I was quite surprised actually, because now with the World Cup coming up, how do you see this, right? I mean, look at this. These are all your first 11 players in one or the other format, right? Either ODI or Test. But in T20s, you see Jadeja hasn't played in over a year. Rohit, Virat, KL haven't played in a year since that T20 World Cup. Shami, Shreyas, I think Shreyas again here, Shiraz here. All of them. I think the only ones who played recently are Shubman, Kuldeep, Yuzi and Jasprit. The four of them have played in the last few months, 4 months ago. But this is... So I find this interesting. Forget what Australia is doing. That makes sense. With what India is doing, I want to know, with so few T20 guys left, where do you see this going?
See, I think first of all, you have to understand that after losing that T20 World Cup, there was a talk of Indian team moving on, the Indian team trying to get a youngster into this T20 format. That could be one of the reasons where that's where the Indian team and think tank was going. That's why Rohit wasn't picked, Virat wasn't playing this T20 format, and Indian team was preparing for 50 over World Cup. So there were not too many T20 games, also international games. There was only one T20 series that was in Ireland, which was being played. And with around that time, India was playing Test cricket back home also. So I think that's something which we have to look into it. And obviously, now that we are talking about World Cup, preparation for World Cup, to me, India's biggest challenge has always been finding that right combination. It's always been, especially in this T20 format. And we don't have now games. Now we are talking about only 3 Afghanistan games, if at all Virat or Rohit Sharma or Jasprit Bumrah, all these guys come and play. So I think that's something which, India will have to take that into account. Or just go by, just think that whoever performs well in IPL will just get those informed players to the World Cup. Because you don't have any international games there. So I think...
But you'll have to announce the team, say, 1 month prior to...
1 month prior to the... So halfway during the
cut-off
IPL.
line as
About 3/4 into the
halfway
IPL
during
bats.
the IPL, halfway during the IPL. So that's obviously a challenge. I'm sure before announcing the team, they must have thought of who's in line for World Cup and whether we want to get them for Afghanistan series or not. But yeah, I think it is a tricky situation. Like Zach said, it is emotional thing as well for everyone. It's not just 6-week tournament. It is a longer tournament. You prepare 6 months prior to this. Everything you've given everything. Pat Cummins' last quote was, when you're playing World Cup, you don't want to get back to a dressing room thinking there's something left on the ground. You want to give it everything, and that is the reason why I think India is going with that youngster squad. And probably more options. There is no lack of supply as far as India's talent.
That's the real problem.
That's a real problem
of plenty.
So, see, problem of plenty is still a problem. But the main thing is you have to find that right combination. I think, in World Series, whatever World Cups we have played, India is not outskilled. I think India's, whatever India has done is they've been out tactically, they've been outplayed. Whether it was a pitch in the final or we are talking about till 2021 T20 World Cup, where India was playing that outdated T20 format. And 2019 World Cup, there was a problem of number 4. So there was tactically India was outplayed, not skill wise. So I think to me India's biggest challenge, Rahul Dravid, I think he would be coach because that's also a confusion. And so we don't know who will be the captain. I think their biggest challenge would be for this T20 World Cup is to find that right combination.
It's a good point about the problem of plenty, because if you see the squad that's playing against Australia right now, they are good enough to play. Then you look at this squad that is going to South Africa. Now you see some of the names are there. Some are add-ons, So if you just see the batters, you're seeing almost all of them playing in this series against Australia. So that carries on. That's a good thing. Where the all-rounders are concerned, yes, Ravindra Jadeja comes in. He comes in after a year and he comes in straight as vice-captain. So that's interesting because he's one of the senior members of the squad, older than Sky as well. You're seeing Sundar, Deepak Chair, Ishan Kishan and Jitesh are in this series against Australia as well. So that carries on. And with the bowlers as well, you just see Kuldeep Yadav, who was in the ODI World Cup, not in the Australia series, but will come for South Africa. So you're seeing they're still going with the new people, or the new people or the people who are playing right now. So still your old war horses are still not in this series as well.
Well, look, I mean, obviously everything, whatever you're going to be talking about, also back of your mind, you will be talking about the World Cup.
Exactly. So are the selectors and the team management giving us a message here?
No. So basically, the way I'm looking at it, what's important for T20 World Cup is the template of the brand of cricket which you want to play.
Okay.
And then from there you work backwards because you have enough resources. All these players, will be playing franchise cricket.
Yeah.
So that 14 games minimum, if you are good, you're going to be playing unless you have injury or something like that. That's secondary. But you got to draw parallel to how they've looked at it from 50-over World Cup point of view. You had a lot of injuries, but they've not played together.
Yeah.
They just knew that, okay, this is the squad which we're going to be looking at by and large.
Yeah.
And we got to give ourselves the best chance of getting these individuals ready for the World Cup. Now, leading up to the World Cup, looking at that, there was some concern, okay, Shreyas coming back, Bumrah coming back, KL coming back.
Correct.
But come the tournament, everything was falling into place. Why it fell into place? Because you had a plan. You've given that role clarity. You've said that this is the template which we want to follow. Rohit said that, okay, first 10 overs, we're going to be looking to be aggressive. He walked the talk. Bowlers were very exciting to watch. Yeah. They were coming up with performance after another. Now, looking at this World Cup, everyone will be having enough game time with regard to this format at a decent level of cricket. So it might be little low than international level competition, but it'll still be a very highly competitive games which they'll be playing. So they will be in that kind of a zone. Now, what matters is the communication and identification of what PP was saying, the captain, the coach, the kind of cricket which you want to play, 20 overs, how do you want to approach, 6 overs, how you want to approach, and then you fit in the individuals. And there's going to be a traffic jam at the top order, there is no doubt about it. There will be some tough calls made, and I see that coming. There is no doubt about that. You look at these players, you're talking about 20, 25 players comfortably at your disposal.
Yeah.
And then you figure out, okay, you can't go by names.
Correct.
You have to go by the template which you set, and that is going to be the most important thing for this T20 World Cup.
So basically, you write the story and then you cast the characters, right? If you try to get the characters and build the story around them, well, that doesn't work. So, well, the template has to be set. But anyway, let's have a look at today's game. This, of course, is South Africa series, World Cup, changes that are being made, important things that are happening vis-a-vis a World Cup which is 6 months away. And teams will not get too much time to try their combinations. And we also discussed the other day how a lot of the players playing in the IPL will not be playing in the position that their national team would be wanting them to play in. Anyway, more on that later. Right now, I have another trivia question for Parthiv and Zach. How many changes has India made? Get your guesses in. Come on.
So
Two. Okay, Zach says two.
Shreyas obviously has come in. The other would be Prasidh. So yeah, 2.
Two. Both are saying same only.
Yeah. Very predictable thing, I think. That's a good sign of Indian cricket right now. That whatever India is doing, everyone can see what kind of approach India wants to do. So I think I'm going with 2.
Okay, so you both are wrong. Let me just tell you. I'll give you another chance. So Matthew Wade said that I've forgotten the changes because there were 5. So he had forgotten the players. Sky also said the same. So now you want to change your guess?
I think logically 2.
Okay, 2. Teamwork makes the dream work. You said 2, It's 4. Well done. Yay. Very good.
4 changes.
Together. There you go. So Jitesh Sharma gets a game and we are all very happy about that. Want to see this young promising cricketer we've seen in the IPL. We were expecting him to get a game, so he gets a game in place of Ishan Kishan. Shreyas Iyer, of course, comes in place of Tilak Verma. We discussed that in the last game, so that has happened as per plan, I guess, predictable. You have Mukesh Kumar who comes in for Prasidh Krishna and Deepak Chahar who comes in for Arshdeep. So that's interesting. Arshdeep, I guess, probably part of the plans, Zach. So they're like, we've seen enough. It's okay. Let's see. Deepak Chahar hasn't played for a while. Let's get him back in.
This tells you one thing for sure. They want to try a few players.
Yeah.
For sure. And check for themselves what kind of approach they should have.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in that. And there is a bit of a feeling that, they maybe have some template in mind. But for this T20 World Cup, it's not going to be like how ODI World Cup we were looking at in terms of the squad size or squad options. It's going to be different and we'll have to wait to see what kind of thinking they are approaching the whole World Cup with. Because there will be 2-3 approaches. Whether you want to go full young side, whether you want to find a right balance, what kind of bowling options you're looking at, whether you're going 6-5 or you're going a little bit of bowler who can bat. Deepak Chahar is going to be that kind of option. It is going to be that new ball bowler. Arshdeep is a new ball bowler. So that is the answer which they're looking at there. That if Deepak Chahar is doing well, then you might get a bowler who's bowling, making that impact with the new ball and can contribute with the bat also a little bit at number 8. Because in the first 3 T20s which we've played here so far, we've seen that that number 8 spot was looking little weak. There's no impact sub here.
Correct.
And we are also used to now thinking in that manner. So you got to tackle those kind of concerns also.
Happy to see Jitesh Sharma get a game, and you probably see him bat at 5 and 6. So Rinku and him now, you got 2 solid finishers.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think Indian team is thinking about. The Zach mentioned earlier that there will be a traffic jam at the top of the order. So you'll have Yashasvi Jaiswal, you'll have Ruturaj Gaikwad, you'll have Rohit Sharma, you'll have Virat Kohli, you'll have Shubman Gill, and you'll have KL Rahul also into contention.
Ishan Kishan.
So basically, so Ishan Kishan is someone, I think, who bats at the top of the order. So if you want your wicketkeeper to get into this side, you had to get a specialist who bats at number 5, 6, and that is Jitesh Sharma, who's done really well. So either Jitesh Sharma or Sanju Samson, who also bats down the order sometimes. So I think that's where India's thinking is going. Whether I'm sure with all these names, it will be very difficult to pick pick only 2 or 3. But combination-wise, I think India is looking at someone, a wicketkeeper who can bat at 5-6, and your best choice was Jitesh Sharma.
Okay, it is. I just want to tell you that this is the latest that we have showed a squad in a Cricbuzz live game, but that's because it took 3 people 15 minutes to make the Australia 11 because there were so many changes in it. We have that ready now. Here it is for your perusal. Travis Head at the top with Aaron Hardy. Matthew Short comes back into the team. Josh Philippe is in the team. Tim David, big hitter Ben McDermott comes into the team. There's Matthew Wade, captain and wicketkeeper at 7. Jason Behrendorff, you obviously want to see him because he's been the pick of the bowlers for Australia in the last 2 games. Ben Dwarshuis gets the game. Chris Green, 30 years old. Yeah, been plying his trade and destroying it in T20 cricket all over the world. And then there's Tanveer Sangha, the spinner who is down at the end. So those are the 5 changes. Who they come in for, क्या फर्क पड़ता है यार, बताओ नहीं बताओ, ठीक है? Just see the people who are there. But exciting times for Chris Green. I believe Chris Green is 30, right?
30, yeah. But he's been around. Yeah, he's been around. He's been playing all the leagues all over the world and doing really well.
Ghat ka pan.
Yeah, all-rounder has done well. Economy, with someone like an off spinner, who bowls well, got a good economy rate as well. But yeah, so he is an exciting talent, which Australia would be thinking that maybe if we go to USA and the wickets are slower than USA and West Indies, so we might be a useful player there. But this is a great opportunity for all of them. Except Travis Head, there is not a regular player who's playing here in this tournament. But so that's a great opportunity for Joshua Philippe as well. Someone who can keep wickets. So he's also an exciting player. McDermott, and if you look at the bowling, they needed a pace. They needed someone who could bowl with a good pace.
Yeah, let's bring the 11 back again so you can talk over it.
So they have exciting talents. Like India, Australia also, there is no shortage of players. They all have done really well. Tanveer Sangha, who has impressed everyone, but if he doesn't play, then Adam Zampa comes in. So they definitely are looking at probably if someone gets unfit, what would be their batting order. So that's exactly what Matthew Short opened in the first game. Aaron Hardy batted at number 3. Today, he's listed at number 3. So those are things is also Australia are trying to do here.
Yeah, they've got one wicketkeeper called Josh coming in for another wicketkeeper who's Josh. There's 2 Bens playing. There's a Green. There's an exciting Green who is in Australia. This is playing Sheffield Shield cricket right now.
3 wicketkeepers in that playing 11.
Yeah.
Ben McDermott also can.
Correct. They have a lot of very exciting wicket-keeping, batting talent.
Options, yes.
Which gets me to actually Matthew Wade, their captain, because their captain will be looking at this. I mean, he was the star of their 21 World Cup campaign when they lifted the trophy. Do you still see, or would Australia still be seeing Matthew Wade as a 24 World Cup option? What is he, 37 now? You've got some young wicket-keepers knocking the door down. Josh Inglis has done well. Quick 100 here. The Thakka 50 in the World Cup. He's shown all gears. Matthew Wade must be looking over his shoulder as well.
See, I think in this format, T20 format, decision-making also becomes very, very crucial.
Yeah.
So actually, you've seen a lot of players are going beyond that norm which every cricketer or cricket fan or cricket selectors to everyone involved around the game have been following, which is looking at age as a number to discard players. So that is changing with this format. You've seen a lot of players playing those particular phases, and they're just specializing in that so much that their value goes up. You've seen it with Dinesh Karthik also here. Indian team actually, when they went to Australia, they said, okay, we want a finisher. He's been finishing the games. And they called him back after a long layoff.
Yeah.
So those kind of things have been happening. So you can't look at just age and say that, okay, this guy, they will not consider because he's 37 or 38.
35, yeah, sorry.
So I think he will definitely be around purely because he's been very consistent even in this series.
Yeah.
You've seen he's contributed with the bat in the previous run chase also, which Australian team did.
Absolutely.
He supported beautifully with Maxwell. So he's been coming up with good performances. Looks like he's sorted with his approach in this format. So I'm sure Australians will be looking at keeping him for this World Cup for sure.
Experienced warhorse, right? And that's something you see with Australia. They really value experience because at 35, it's not like he's any less fit than a 25-year-old. Looks super fit, looks game ready, and he's been getting the scores, especially versus India.
Yeah, so that's exactly what, that also my thought is, age is just a number. As long as you are performing, as long as you are doing the job for the team, which Matthew Wade is doing it. Last 7 innings and the number which he bats at number 6-7. This is the most difficult number to, bat and gets runs like this. The last game's inning was probably, got overshadowed by Glenn Maxwell's 100. And even the game before that, where Australia lost, Matthew Wade was the only player who got 43, again batting at that kind of a number. And Australia also is in a same kind of thing. They have a lot of top order batters in there, so they also need that specialist batter, wicketkeeper who can finish the job. And Matthew Wade is doing it for them. And experience matters. I think those are the times where there will be a lot of pressure, and if under pressure, experience only can come handy. And that's exactly why Matthew Wade, I also feel that he will be around in that World Cup.
Matthew Wade was not the only one who got overshadowed by that Glenn Maxwell 100. There was a fantastic 100 by Rituraj Gaikwad that also got overshadowed by Glenn Maxwell's. And I think it was fantastic because the thing is that he was, so I want to get your opinion on this, because he was obviously 22 of 22. Then he got a century of 52 balls, right? He had to play at that stage because 2 wickets were lost in the power play, but he had to play that way. But what he showed later is that he's got the game, because a couple of games he's been a little stuck. He's gone like run a ball in the beginning because the wicket has fallen perhaps. How would you like to see Gaikwad bat? Would you like to see him bat like this? Take your time, 10, 15 balls, or is T20 too precious? And you got 100 or 52 balls, but India still lost, so maybe go hard right from the beginning. What would you like to see as a template?
Well, I think it's about collectively scoring that many runs.
Yeah.
So I think how Indian team is approaching is that you're saying, okay, first 6 overs, you're looking at, say, 55, 60, whatever that number is.
Yeah.
You want to be aggressive attacking. You've seen that lot of good teams, they've been splitting that power play into set of 3 and 3 overs.
Okay.
So they don't mind going slow in the first 3 overs. If you get deliveries in your options and you get runs, then it's a different story. Then you are adding that 10-15 runs in that power play on that day itself. But especially if you are batting first, you don't want to lose those early wickets.
Yeah.
And you want to create that platform. And that's the kind of mindset I've seen so far from this Indian batting side. And if you are able to do that, then
this style of 150 despite the slow starts.
This style of batting works.
Yeah.
Because see, even if you get out, you're going to get out in the first 10 balls and you've scored 8 runs till that point, it's not going to hurt the team that much. So that's how you approach it. The top order batters can afford to do that.
Yeah.
So that's why 1, 2, 3, they can have this sort of a template. A number 4 batter will not be able to have this kind of a template.
Yeah.
Because Ruturaj bats in that 1, 2, 3 positions, you can do it, but then you have to turn out your numbers in this fashion.
Yeah,
which is average of 52, strike rate of 154. Because more often than not, you're getting in and you're making it count.
Yeah, because if he had got out at 22 of 22, that would have been a big problem. But he didn't. He got his 100 of 52 balls. So obviously you see how rapidly accelerated then. And India, of course, very lucky. Number 4, Suryakumar Yadav, wo to, as they say, ghar se hi set ho ke aate hain. So when he comes, he doesn't need to take any balls. He just goes. Does that mean then that Shreyas bats at number 3 today, Parthiv?
I think it looks like it. Shreyas will bat at number 3. He's got a lot of runs, playing for Delhi, batting at number 3. And he's also been, was at a great World Cup, batting at number 4, got hundreds. So he should be, raring to go and make a mark for himself in a T20 World Cup. Probably he'll be in the contention to, get into that top order, which we've been talking about. Yeah, obviously it's a great opportunity. Another vice captain here, and his numbers are also very good numbers. The strike rate of 135, average of 30, which isn't bad. I mean, just because we've seen someone's numbers so good, 150 and 50 average. So that is the reason why probably Shreyas Iyer has been given those 2 games also. He hasn't played that much of T20, and we'll know the approach. I think for 1, 2, 3, it is very important to understand the conditions first. If conditions are demanding, you have to play at certain strike rate. You have to make sure that the wickets are in hand. And so for Shreyas, I think we'll play that role of someone like Virat had done it for India in a one-day format. So Shreyas Iyer is someone who can do that job for India in T20 format.
Because today is not that this ground in Raipur is not traditionally a very high-scoring ground. Not too much international cricket has happened here, but it's not been a very high-scoring ground. But that's what we thought about the previous match as well, which happened in Guwahati, and it was 223 and eclipsed, 222 and then eclipsed and then won by Australia. So obviously we have no idea how these youngsters are looking at T20 cricket. I sound like our uncles, no? Uncles, these youngsters, how they are looking at that. Well, we have our dear Uncle Joy, who gives us youngsters, we are youngsters to him, very difficult questions. They are called Joy Factor questions. And there is no joy factor for us because we don't know them. For which team have Samuel Walusimbi and John Nagendra played World Cup cricket? ये तो Google हो जाएगा यार, आराम से.
Oh, I think some team qualified right now recently. I think it's related to that team.
Could be.
I'm guessing Uganda, Namibia.
That much I know, Joy, now. That much I can say.
Monte Carlo, Monte Cristo. I don't know. You guys probably know the answer. Send it to us. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live. Hashtag Joy Factor. We want to know. But score guesses, our last bit of business before we go. Score predictions. Gents, what are you going with? Should we start with Zach? Let's start with age before beauty. So first Zach, then Parthiv.
205.
205. 205. 185.
Ooh. Nice. So then I'll go for 195.
Yeah.
195. 215 बनेंगे ना 185, 195, 205. Those are our score guesses. We're going to see you for Cricbuzz Combox. That's going to be at the 10 over mark. Australia won the toss. Has put India into bat in Raipur. India would want to win this game and clinch the series and continue their unbeaten T20 series record at home. Australia, of course, will want to stop that today and take it to the decider on Sunday. We, of course, will be here with you all through the game on Cricbuzz. So put your notifications on so that you know when we come on next. Big thank you to Parthiv Patel and Zaheer Khan. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live. Thank you for watching.